And welcome in one more time. How you doing? Getting ready for the next game? I hope you are. Because I'll tell you what, I think this game is going to give us some points. On the road at Tranmere Rovers, beautiful stadium. Look at it. Lovely stadium. Beautiful. Beautiful stadium. But I got to say, I got a hunch, a bit of a feeling that the form that we've had recently is going to come and bring wins eventually. It's not that far away. We haven't played terribly at all, and we picked up a few players on deadline day. We're going to tell you about them real soon. But before we do, Paul Mullin news. Paulie Mullin is out there on the training field day to day now, getting stronger each day. How far away is he? I say 2 weeks minimum is the minimum, probably closer to maybe 3 to 4 weeks, I'd say. So somewhere in between there, I think Paulie Mullin comes back in from that punctured lung that, remember, he got that on the US tour. Now we got players coming to play. Signings have happened on transfer deadline day. Who are they? Take a look. Okay, guys, Wrexham AFC has 2 new players signed in the last 48 hours. Let's take a look. First, we're taking a look at George Evans. George was a big player with Millwall last season. He's 28 years old. He arrives on a 2-year contract with the Red Dragons, and it's subject to international clearance. Get this, the paperwork's already been submitted to help him join the squad at Tranmere Rovers for the derby game at Prenton Park. Evans can also play at centre-back and is a product of Manchester City's youth academy, so he's got some quality. And has also played for Reading and Derby County in the Championship. He's got quality. Hopefully, we can use him. On signing for Wrexham, he said, "I'm delighted to be here. It's something that came around very quickly. I'm really excited to sign, and I'm desperate to get going. I'm ready for a big challenge and hopefully a really positive season." So let's take a look at Wrexham's second signing coming on transfer deadline day, Arthur Okonkwo from the Arsenal. 21-year-old originally played for Hampstead Academy and Linders Park before being picked up by the Gunners as a child. Okonkwo has experience with England at the youth levels, under 16, under 17 and under 18. Although he's born in London, he's eligible for both England and Nigeria at the international level. If you want to know who Okonkwo's superstars or what influenced him through the career, you've got to say it's Peter Cech and David De Gea. David De Gea. Peter Cech, yeah. Okonkwo has experience in the EFL with Crewe Alexandra, joining the Railwaymen on loan for 2022-23 season, whereby he kept 10 clean sheets in 26 matches. That's top draw. That is top draw. Okonkwo's next journey came to Austria as he signed with Sturm Graz on loan for the season, whereby he ended up winning the Austrian Cup final, defeating Rapid Vienna, and that's no mean feat. That's a pretty tough call. Okonkwo will look to continue his education at the racecourse ground under the coaching staff at Wrexham AFC. Welcome in, George. Welcome in, Arthur. So welcome in, Arthur and George. Arthur coming in all the way from the Arsenal. So got quality. He's got quality. Let's hope that can become a big keeper in years to come for Wrexham. Now, looking at the game, Wrexham form at the moment, if you didn't know, 1 win, 3 draws, 1 loss, 14-4, 14 against in the goals category, 6 points, 16th in the table. Tranmere, 21st in the table, 1 win, no draws, 4 losses, 8 goals scored, 9 goals conceded for 3 points, sitting in 21st. I tell you what, not so bad, but Wrexham games in September and the table as it stands. Take a look. I'll be back in about a minute. Okay, as you know, we're on the road at Tranmere Rovers this weekend. I believe it's going to be a tough game. Let's take a look at the games coming up in September. Obviously, Tranmere Rovers is the first one we got coming up. Thereafter, Newcastle United under-21s. And that's at the Racecourse Ground on the 5th. Then, on the 9th, Doncaster Rover at the Racecourse Ground, League 2. And after that, it's Grimsby Town again at the Racecourse Ground. Then we go on the road at Stockport County. That's going to be interesting. And then back home for Crewe Alexandra, a team I know very well, again at the Racecourse Ground. Obviously, like I say, the first game coming up is Tranmere Rovers on the road at the Tranmere Rovers ground, Prenton Park. Make sure you get there safe, get there early, and avoid all the construction and delays along the way. Now, moving along to the league table, you can see there we have it, live. Milton Keynes Dons on top, Gillingham second, and Accrington Stanley in third. And take a look who's in fourth. It's Notts County on 10 points, while we're sitting in 16th. I'll tell you what, let's get back to the chit-chat. We're going to talk about Dangermen and a little bit more about Tranmere Rovers. So hopefully with some points at Tranmere this weekend, we might well start climbing the table. I mean, look, like I say, it hasn't been terrible form, but Lady Luck must shine on the Wrexham pretty soon. I mean, come on. The effort that the guys are putting in, it will produce wins. And I mean, picking up a couple of players, who's to know when they're going to play, but the paperwork's in, etc. for George. Let's see what happens. But I think they're two decent pickups, considering that George was in Millwall there for a couple of go-arounds, 60 games roughly. So I'll tell you what, I'm happy with them signings. Now, head-to-head against Tranmere, all-time 39 wins, 25 draws, 40 losses. The first game ever against Tranmere Rovers was April 15th, 1922 in Division 3 North, and it was an away day for Wrexham, and it finished 0-0. Now, looking at Tranmere in more detail, take a look. I'll be back in a little while. Okay, let's take a look at Tranmere Rovers right now. Tranmere Rovers sitting 21st in League 2. The record so far, 1 win, no draws, 4 losses, 8 goals scored, 9 against. So they can score, but they can also concede for 3 points on the season. Like I say, sitting 21st. The squad itself, you've got 15 free transfers in this squad. Hence, I don't see them getting above mid-table for too long, and I think it will be a relegation battle all year long. They may well avoid it, but it's going to be tough. Now, looking at the defenders, briefly, Tom Davies, 31, got some experience. He's been around a travelling salesman. Like I told you, get used to that term, travelling salesman. He's been around the low league clubs for quite some time, as has Jordan Turnbull. But both of those guys will bring an element of experience into the defensive line. Now, talking James Norris, 20-year-old on loan from Liverpool. Well, that's not the experience that you want to see at the back, but I tell you what, he has some talent, and hence he's on Liverpool's books. So there's 3 guys to watch out for in defence. In midfield, you got to say, Kieran Morris, 169 games for the Rovers, 16 goals. So he's got a bit of a goal threat to him. Josh Hawkes, 69 and 17, also a guy you want to watch out for. Got goals in him. Rhys Hughes, 21. Welsh fans, listen up. Rhys Hughes, 21, 10 games so far, no goals. He's still a youngster. He's only 21. But he's also an under-21 Welsh international, has 10 games under his belt already. And rounding out the midfield, Paul Lewis, 58 and 8, 58 games, 8 scored, 14 goals, though, in the last 2 years. There's the threat coming from midfield. And when you think about looking up front, well, you got to think Luke Norris is probably one guy you want to keep your eyes on. Christian Dennis and Connor Jennings. Luke Norris, 3 games so far this season, 1 goal. He's got goals in him. Christian Dennis, however you want to say it, 6 games in, 1 goal so far in 2023. And Connor Jennings, 31, an experienced striker, 4 games in, already got the monkey off his back, 1 goal in. Norris, Dennis, and Jennings up front. Watch out for those guys. So, Norris, Dennis, Jennings, they might be the guys that do the damage on us at Prenton Park. Hopefully not. But those 3 guys we need to keep an eye on, as well as the guys I named at you in the midfield. They've got some decent midfield players, and the goal threat is there. And if we're not on our game, yeah, we could probably lose this game. There's no doubt about it. Remember I said before the season, we're touching base with quality ball players. League 1, League 2, there's decent ball players in there, and they know how to play, know how to use the ball, know how to kill the clock, use the clock, manage the ref, use the ref. They know how to play the game, is what I'm saying. Not that Wrexham don't. But we're not coming up against National League teams. We're coming up against professionals now, and it's starting to show. If this continues the way it is, we're not going to climb the table too fast. That doesn't fill me with despair. It's just a realism that where we are, and where we are is in League 2, which is top flight football. It's not National League, like I say. So wins are hard to come by. That's what we need to start gaining. Now, I would say this much. Remember Norris, Dennis, and Jennings. Now, talking about the prediction of the game, I'm thinking at the start of it, I'm looking for a draw at least. I think we're worth a draw. Now, if we hit the ground running, I'm calling for a 2-1 win. That's what I'd love to see. That would give us our 2nd win on the season. And you've got to say, right now, we're 4 points out of a playoff spot. The closest playoff spot is 10 points. We're on 6. We're also 3 points out of the drop zone. So we're right in the middle. We're not in limbo, and we are heading in the right direction. And with them new signings, they're going to help us this season too. So look at it. 2-1 on the road is what I'm looking for. If you're going there, drop a line. Drop down below when you're at the ground, where you're at in the ground, how many people have gone there, what your thoughts are on the game prior to and after, and any of your thoughts that you want us to bring here on Ultimate Soccer. But that's what I'm thinking. You've seen what I'm thinking. You've seen what I'm bringing. I'm saying 2-1, 1-1 minimum, but I'm saying we've surely got points this weekend. I hope so, at least. And we're going to have another tough game. I won't be bringing a post-game on this one because straight after the game, I've got to get in a plane and I'm moving across the country, and then I'll be coming back later after the game. So it's going to be a quick trip for me out of the town, into another town, the other side of the country, and then I'm back again. But I'll be there for the pre-game for the next Wrexham game. Enjoy the game, everybody. Get ready for it. It's coming thick and fast, and we need points. I think we've got a good chance at getting the points on the road. Let's have it, because we need them to start making a charge, a real big charge, to get closer to the playoff spots. Once we're in the playoff spots, I don't see a problem in holding that down. Remember, 4th to 7th, that's where we need to be. Right now we're in 16th, Tranmere's 21st. They've lost 4 out of 5. We've lost 1 out of 5. It's time to get that second win of the season. Will we? What do you think? Will we? Okay, let's have it. Let's get it. Let's get on to Prenton Park. Let's take on Tranmere, and let's have another big day. Let's have it. Cheers.